Welcome to First Down by Coach Tools, where you hear from successful coaches and the top minds in sports, with host Justin Tichenell. First Down is brought to you by Coach Tools, the football player grading software that's better and faster. Today's guest is Coach Blaine Powell. For more content like this, be sure to like and subscribe.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. So excited to talk with Coach Powell. He is the head sprint football coach at St. Mary's of the Woods. Coach Powell and I, we were just talking off camera today, and he's been coaching for just about 30 years. And one of the most interesting things about it is for 22 of those years, he was actually a coal miner. So to get things started, Coach, I'll let you tell the audience about yourself and how you've ultimately got involved in your current role.
I've been involved with coaching for a long time, 30 years. Kind of got into it because my dad was he ran the youth league at Linton in Linton, Indiana, and played for him and just always looked up to him and, really just loved the game. Wasn't the best player in the world. So but just loved coaching kids and saw how he handled kids and how he helped kids. And so got into it. And, I was a coal miner for 22 years. So a lot of long hours working there and then going and either coaching high school, youth, junior high, didn't really matter to me. Then I got an opportunity to be a head coach at Sullivan High School. I was there for 5 years, and then, St. Mary of the Woods came calling, said that they were starting up a sprint football program, and ended up taking over that and, had a lot of success these last 2 years. We won the championship our first year, going 6-1, and then last year we went 7-2, made it to the championship, got beat by a very talented Calumet team. So in 2 years, we've been 13-3, and feel like we're really building something special over there.
Awesome. Well, that's great to hear, starting a program. And you guys started from scratch?
Yeah. Yeah. When I was hired, we literally had a chair and a phone and one football floating around that campus. So,
Wow.
it has been definitely a ground floor startup.
Definitely. So can you talk about that? Because, I'm sure there's not many coaches that can say they started a program from the ground up.
Yeah. I mean, you don't really look at what the end is going to be. You just take it day by day. You go in, and I mean, there'd be days where, first of all, we brought in the coaching staff. We already had our strength coach was already there, Thomas Henderson, who had played at Indiana University. He's also our DB coach, so he was already at St. Mary of the Woods as the sports performance director. And then I brought in my son, who had played at Indiana State and coached at Indiana State. He's our offensive coordinator. Brought in our defensive coordinator. Brought in our director of football operations, Griffin Olson, who's also a student at St. Mary of the Woods. He's also our special teams coach and D-line coach. So we have multiple positions for a lot of our coaches. And we just started recruiting. We started NCSA, Twitter, you name it. We were looking for kids. There would be days where we would reach out to 150 kids and not hear back from any of them. And then there'd be days where we'd get, we went on a stretch of 24 days with 24 commitments. So you just put your head down and work. You really don't think about like the end goal. You just work every day as hard as you can to try to build what you want.
Exactly. And I think for a lot of the coaches that watch this podcast, Coach Powell, they're younger in their career, just kind of starting up. So I think that's, a great piece of advice for the younger crowd too. So if you had to go back to beginning in your career, like 30 years ago or even 7 years ago when you started as a head coach, what advice would you give yourself to better serve yourself now?
I think more than anything is don't pay as much attention. I think early in your career, really all you're looking at is X's and O's, man. You're which you do have to continue to learn and stay up with what's going on, but really it's you got to form relationships. Uh, and I think that's the most important thing is getting to know your kids, getting them in the right state of mind. And it doesn't matter what scheme you're in if they're not in the right state of mind and ready to go. And I think early on in your career, you're so focused on the X's and O's of the game and looking up that next, what's Texas running, what's Alabama running, what's Michigan running, that I can put with my team, and things like that, that you kind of lose sight of, what kind of kids do I have and how can I better serve them? How can I get them to play the best they can no matter what scheme we're in?
Yeah. So, what are some ways that you've done that over the years?
More than anything is just take the time. Take the time to get to know the kids. When they're in the weight room, don't just stand in the corner and watch them lift. Go around the room and talk to them. Ask them how their day's going. You know, I know when I was in high school, I used to tell our coaches that, you know, you may be, if you make contact with that kid during the day, you may be the one that gets him to talk about something that maybe he's been holding in all day and maybe be able to help a kid that maybe something you've experienced through life so make sure that you make that contact with kids and take the time to talk to them, ask them questions, ask them how their day's going, ask them how their classes are, their family, anything to just kind of learn about them and let them know that you care. That's the most important thing is let them know that you care.
Definitely. Yeah, and I've heard a lot of coaches talking about, just pouring into kids and making them, like you're saying, making them feel important if they might not be like a top guy within the program or a top player, you know, trying to treat every player the same regardless of their status on the program. Um so I'm sure you've probably run into like a lot of challenges trying to figure out like who are my top guys, and especially like as a sprint football program. So have you guys experienced anything like that over these past 2 years?
Oh yeah, I mean we've experienced a little bit of everything these first 2 years. I mean, we do the best we can to get to know these kids. I mean, we've got kids from we're at the point now where probably about half our rosters from the state of Indiana, but we still have guys from Hawaii, Florida, Alabama, California, New Mexico, Tennessee, Georgia, you name it. And
Wow.
it's with a startup program, we're not out flying around everywhere or driving around everywhere. We try to touch base with our recruits, once every week or two, and just to get to know them a little bit better. But you're still not going to know them as much as you need to when you get them on campus. So yeah, I mean, you do have to. There is challenges trying to take that time to get to know them and understand their backgrounds and how you can help them the most. The key is when they come into the St. Mary of the Woods, they have to understand that school's first. Getting that education is the most important thing. Getting the opportunity to play football second, and but it is a great opportunity for them, and you have to just some of the challenges is just normal challenges that all colleges have is the kid that maybe started at wide receiver in high school has now been moved to free safety and he's a scout team player his freshman year and a
Right.
special team player. How does he take that? Understanding what the role is and understanding that what you do on the practice field can elevate you on the game field, and understanding that don't take it as a demotion to be on a scout team because it's so important. But I think I went through that as a high school coach, a college coach, and I think that is something that all coaches face is how do you get that through to kids, and it's a continuous battle and a continuous thing that you have to work on with them.
For sure. So appreciate you sharing all that, coach. Any last words you want to share with the audience today?
Not really. Just enjoy your time coaching. It's a privilege to be able to do it, and make sure that you make it all about the kids, man, and do everything that you can to help these kids be the best people off the field and on the field as you can.
Definitely. Well, really appreciate you sharing today, coach. best of luck in recruiting this offseason, and thanks again for coming on.